From the News Channel 8 studios, this is Let's Talk Live.
Today, as we mentioned, it is National Honesty Day. This is a time when you should examine your current level of honesty, if you can do that honestly.
Can you? The holiday was created so that the month would, as we were saying earlier, it would end with a focus on doing the right thing, honesty, since it begins with that not so honest holiday, April Fool's Day.
Yeah, so here to explain more about this is communication and honesty expert Stephen Gaffney. Hello, Stephen.
Hello.
And of course, you're very honest.
I hope so.
We need you to be honest.
I'm lying about it.
I was so surprised when I saw how many people out there are really dishonest. There's been a survey?
Yes, there was a survey done years ago, but I think it's relevant today, that 91% of people lie regularly. I actually think the other 9% in the study lied. We all lie. Come on. People say, well, I didn't lie, I just didn't want to hurt that person's feelings. Or I didn't lie, I just didn't say anything. Well, there's lies of withholding and there's lies of white lies. And sometimes somebody says, well, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But have you ever had a situation where you thought, you know what, I would have rather you hurt my feelings and hear the truth?
Absolutely.
Because you can't fix a problem if people don't tell you.
That's right. And so being silent, withholding, that is considered lying. Just take note, okay?
Well, here's my proof. I mean, have you ever had somebody not say something, and then they say, well, I didn't lie to you, I just didn't say that, and you think to yourself, you know what, I feel like you lied to me. It's that feeling that they withheld because then we made an entirely different decision. This happens with companies, and people make bad decisions there, and it happens in our personal life because people withhold.
Yes, well, there are, you know, chronic liars, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And one lie begets the next lie, and it goes on from there. But on the other hand, it is sort of part of our social norm to say things in a PC way, and maybe it's sort of lying.
Yes, and of course there's a difference between honesty and brutality, right? A lot of people say, they don't like my honesty. I had a lady in a course of mine, she says, people don't like my honesty, but I'm glad you're here. And I said, well, what's going on? She said, I tell people when they're a jerk that they're a jerk. Well, that's not honesty, that's brutality. You know what I found? A lot of people who say a lot of negative things under the claim of honesty, it's really they're feeling negative inside and they are projecting it on other people. So there is definitely a difference between honesty and brutality, and the most important question you've got to ask yourself when deciding whether you should say something or not is, what's the point? What am I trying to accomplish here? That's the key.
Okay, a little self-analysis.
Deep thought for today.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think we all kind of get how it works in our personal lives. But you're talking also about how it can affect businesses and their bottom line.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing. What happens is that executives that I've worked with feel like they get blindsided and surprised by problems they wish they knew about. So when they eventually find out, they have to spend an exorbitant amount of resources to fix the problem. But the reality is a big problem was ultimately a small problem that was either neglected or people didn't share the key things about and actually escalate up when they should have escalated the issue.
But can't honesty get you in trouble sometimes?
What's an example?
Just maybe telling the boss too much.
Well, it is true that it actually could get you in trouble. But here's the thing. I have found that there are 3 keys to delivering honest communication that most of the time will make it very powerful. The first thing is you've got to be honest with what the point is. Second thing is say the benefit to the other person. And the third is appreciation. So, for example, you might say to your boss, well, you know, I want to give you some feedback on how we're working together. And the reason why I want to give you this feedback is because if you can be clear with what you're telling me and help me, then I can actually do a better job for you, benefit. And finally, what I want to say is, and you wouldn't say finally I want to say, but essentially you want to end the honest communication with an appreciation. See, people often have been taught to begin with an appreciation, but I don't think that's effective. I think the key is you want to end with an appreciation. So the end might be, I want you to know I really enjoy working with you. And let's say that's not true. I don't enjoy it. Then I could say, I really appreciate how hard you work, or I appreciate that you gave me the job. I appreciate the opportunity here. We don't want to lie, but we definitely want to end on an appreciation. What I have found out is that people who are considered brutal, who actually say that their honesty didn't go well, they lack appreciating other people. In fact, usually they're just a negative person. They're like a cancer in the organization.
And I think we all like to look at the notes people leave in the computer, for example, all emails when they have left, and they're saying, "We'd like to thank all of you. You're such a great team, and I've enjoyed working with all you." And it does sort of soften the edges. Well, they're out the door because they didn't like it here, bottom line. But
so they're not really being honest.
That's a big issue with organizations. They'll say, well, they do exit interviews, and my point is, there's a strong incentive to lie in an exit interview, and that's because you don't want to burn any bridges. So the reality is, a lot of organizations, unfortunately, incentivize lying by the way they react when people do sometimes tell the truth. What I work with organizations, and the key is to reward people for being upfront. And the key to rewarding is saying about appreciation and giving them some kind of feedback on how you use that information to forward what's going on in the company or in our reality in our relationship.
All right, we've got questions from our viewers. Why don't you start, Mel?
Okay, we have one from Elman Woodson of Arlington, and this is a video, so take a look at this.
Okay.
When a person came out of the bathroom and they were like, "Do I look okay?" But they had something on their face.
Could you hear that? The man said the person came out of the bathroom and they had something on their face. How do you react to that?
That's a good question. Run. No, I'm just kidding. One of the things I'm wondering immediately upon hearing this is, why are they in the bathroom and what's the point of trying to communicate? Something on their face. But here's what I found out. You can't fix a problem if people don't tell us. So the reality is, we definitely want to have the situation where people are, we're clear with what we're trying to deliver, and we're focusing on actually sharing things so that the person can hear the information and do better of it. Here's an example of what I mean. Have you ever had a situation where somebody didn't give you feedback on your job, and you thought that feedback would have helped me, so them hiding it didn't help? But you think to yourself, if they had just told me, I could have done a lot better job. So many employees and many people in their personal life just think, if they had just told me.
All right, well, let's get one more in before we have to go.
Tell them about the Facebook, the lady that wrote in about the employer wanting to be friends on Facebook.
All right, this is Nicole Donna from Philadelphia, a Facebook question.
Yeah, go to the full screen and just go ahead and read it, Mel. What does she say? She says, when your boss sends you a friend request on Facebook, but you don't want to friend them, how do you handle that?
Okay, so the first thing is, we have to remember, be honest, share benefits and appreciation. So you would want to say to your boss, listen, I'm just a little bit uncomfortable it's a little bit uncomfortable for me to actually have that situation with friends crossing over to work. The reason why I'm uncomfortable is I never want you to be in a situation where, when you hopefully promote me and mentor me and I advance in my career, somebody to say, oh, they just did it as a friend. So I really want to look out for you and actually honor our working relationship. And most importantly, I want you to know, I'm really touched that you would want to be my friend. And actually, I hope we're able to be basically friends in the workplace and work together with each other.
And I have 2 Facebook accounts, and one's for my real friends and one's for those other people.
That's another segment we can cover.
All right, Stephen Gaffney, communications expert and honesty expert too. Thanks so much.